You ask a manufacturer what it costs to make your supplement. They quote you a few dollars a bottle. While that number is real, it also is less than half of what your first year actual costs are. Most first-time brand owners budget straight from that quote. Then the costs that weren't on it start showing up, one at a time, long after the money is already committed. And in a worst-case scenario, the brand runs out of cash before its second production run. That gap between the quote and the real number is the quietest way a promising supplement brand dies. So let's build the real budget, what the quote actually covers, where the hidden money goes, and the one question that turns a quote into a number you can plan around. Start with the part the quote does cover, the cost of physically making the product per bottle. For capsules, a standard off-the-shelf formula runs a few dollars a bottle once you're ordering a few thousand of them. Gummies and soft gels cost more per unit, and most makers won't touch them below very large minimum orders. That per bottle price is really three things bundled together: the ingredients inside, turning them into a capsule or tablet, and the bottle, cap, and label. On a typical capsule, the raw ingredients alone are roughly half the cost. The rest is the work and the packaging. Order more and the per bottle number drops. Hold that thought, because ordering more is also where the trap is. Because to actually run a batch, 3 more costs land, and on a first quote, they're often missing or buried. A one-time setup fee to run your batch, testing the finished product for identity, strength, and contaminants, and a compliant label designed and reviewed. Put the bottles in these 3 together, and a typical first capsule run of a few thousand bottles usually lands somewhere between $12,000 and $17,000. A smaller batch can cost a little bit less, a bigger one can cost a little bit more, but it's the whole run before you've spent a cent on your actual brand. Now, the costs that live completely outside the manufacturing quote. This is where first budgets quietly break. Say you want your own formula instead of the manufacturer's stock one. That development work can add a few thousand to $15,000 before a single bottle exists. Then the costs nobody puts in a quote: product liability insurance, legal and label review, a trademark, and brand design, and marketing assets. And then the one that actually sinks people, the minimum order. Most manufacturers won't run less than a few thousand units. So you don't pay for what you can sell this month, you pay for the whole minimum upfront. The cash is now sitting in boxes in a warehouse as inventory. And if your launch sells slower than you hoped, the money you need for your second run is locked inside the first one. It just gathers dust on a pallet. That's the cash flow trap. It isn't the price of a bottle, it's the timing of the bills. One more line, and this one moves on you. If your ingredients are imported, they can carry import duties, and that rate has been changing. So don't budget it from a headline. Ask your manufacturer for the code on your last shipment, and ask your customs broker what rate applies today. The point isn't the exact percent. It's that this line exists, and it can shift between the day you get your quote and the day you pay your invoice. So here's the one question that turns a quote into a budget. Ask for an itemized quote, not a single price per bottle, but a separate line for ingredients, manufacturing, testing, setup, packaging, and the minimum order. Then add the costs outside the quote yourself: formulation, insurance, legal, your branding. For most first-time brands, the real all-in number to launch lands somewhere between $20,000 and $40,000, not just the few thousand that the per bottle quote makes it look like. So treat the quote as one line in a much longer bill. Budget the whole thing, and you're the brand that makes it to a second run. Budget only the quote, and you might be in trouble. We built a free cost estimator that runs these numbers for your exact product next to the full written breakdown. It's linked below. The links are also in the description. Thanks for watching.